Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of the sheckiiville birthday celebration. And today I have someone that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. I knew Jay when I first went to New York, and he showed me the ropes. I remember the first time I ever stepped into laundry service, and he goes, "Where my boy Sheckii at?" And, ever since we've kept in touch. And let's welcome to the episode, Jay. What is good, my man?
Good, Shaq. Best. How you, man?
Chilling, just enjoying the birthday week and hanging out with you and a bunch of cool guests. So really honored to have you on today.
Nah, the honor's all mine, man.
Yes, sir. So introduce yourself to the stream and tell them what you do.
I am the executive vice president of people and culture at Complex Networks. Basically, I oversee all of HR, recruiting, and internal cultural initiatives.
That's what's up. So when I just started my new gig, right? They're saying, "Hey, have you worked with Complex?" I'm like, "I know somebody pretty high up at Complex," and it's like, "Cool." And then like they were somehow it led me to like show you a picture of what you are. I'm like, doesn't this dude embody the HR culture of what Complex is? And like, yeah, that's pretty spot on. So like when I
Man.
remember having a conversation with you when you're about to join Complex. Man, it seems like a dream job, isn't it? It like fits who you are
It was,
perfectly.
man. As much as I loved laundry service and cycle, and I truly, truly loved those places, I poured my heart and soul into that company. But Complex was always kind of the end game for me, man. Like, there is no other company in the world where my personal values and who I am personally align with what I could be doing professionally. It really is a
Hmm.
match made in heaven, man, considering being HR, coming from Brooklyn, being, a sneakerhead, hip hop head, a low fiend, and Complex being what Complex is, man.
Yeah.
It really is perfect, man. I feel like Jordan Belfort sometimes. I mean, I'm never fucking leaving. They're gonna need a bulldozer to get me out.
Yeah, man, I love it. So what I think I really wanted to get you on the stream was when I think of you, man, I don't think of anything vanilla one bit or anything just like off off the stock. Like this is what it is. You're always just doing something new and pushing innovation and all that, right? So, from an HR perspective, this is what I would love to hear from you. Like, HR has a bad rep of just being like the department you don't want to talk to, right? Or just anything like that. But I don't think you've ever approached it that way. And so, what is your philosophy there? Like, why
It
is it
depends
different
on
when
who you
you
ask,
run your
but
ship?
for most people feel that way. I mean, it's really about authenticity and being
Yeah.
seen as a someone who's relatable. Most HR people are very authoritarian, and they either disconnect themselves from the staff in a way that's detrimental, and they're only seen where when people are in trouble or getting fired, or if they have health benefit questions or something like that. But otherwise, they don't interact with the staff, or
Yeah.
they do it, but they do it in a way that comes off, kind of whack or
Mm.
fake or phony. Um, I've always been myself, man. And I think me just being comfortable in my own skin and doing what I do, it presents a level of relatability. And even
Yeah,
if you
for
don't
sure.
look or dress like me, you'd be like, okay, he's himself, like he's real. And I am, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean I'm handing out candy every day, but I'll tell you what the real is, and I'll tell you if it's good or if it's not, and I'll do
Hmm.
so in a way that you know where you stand.
Yeah.
Um,
That I think you hit it on the key, right? I think what all of us expect from HR is no bullshit, no fluff, right? Tell it to me straight. Like don't like mislead me somewhere. And if that honesty happens, man, like and if you're a real person, you get to take that feedback and listen and be able to make that constructive versus being all defensive, which is what happens sometimes when you kind of mislead them somewhere, right? It's like, oh no, this is what's gonna be like. Come back to me in 6 months, and you'll get that promotion you want or whatever it may be. And then you hear a whole different side, and then it's like you hear a lot of corporate BS or something. People can feel that, so I'm with you. I think the realness is what people want.
Exactly. It's all about being genuine and authentic and real and honest. People, I personally respond well to honesty, whether it's good
Yeah.
or bad. And
Hmm.
I think most people do as well. You have your occasional outliers who are actually more comfortable with traditional HR, and I make them uncomfortable. But for the vast majority, um, people are really appreciative of my approach.
Yeah, man. So I think on the real side, right now with everything that's going on, I'm sure as a HR, this is like something you can never prepare for. So what was the
Our
communication
help,
like?
man.
So walk us through, man. Like I don't think anybody understands the behind the scenes of what's going on. What was it like when you heard it? What was some of the things that were going on, and just like share with us like some of the operations things.
Yeah, man. So you know what? One thing that does make me unique is I am a veteran, and that military training. I find myself, defaulting to it a
Mm-hmm.
lot more these days because one of the things that they teach you is to adjust to your environment and your circumstances. Um, and you always have to remain malleable. And something a phrase my old CEO told me was fly in the fog, right? So
Mm.
we are in the fog. Um, this is unprecedented territory,
Yes, sir.
at least for modern America. Um, and at the very beginning, everyone was kind of like either not taking it seriously enough or you know uh, just really unsure and looking for leadership. And me and the leadership team at Complex, we kept a level head. We
Mm-hmm.
analyzed the situation, overly communicating information via Slack or text or phone calls and or Zoom meetings. And as we are sharing information and getting new facts, we then incorporate those facts into our decision making. And then you try to chart the course as best as you can. There is no blueprint for this. So
Yeah.
um, it's just a matter of, you know, constantly keeping your ears open, no matter how uncomfortable the information makes you, making sure that you're receiving all information that's going to help with your decision making process,
Mm.
and then use that information to inform your strategy. And don't get too stuck on the strategy either,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, they want to get the economy back up and running, and you know, everybody is setting hard dates, and we have to be back by this day.
Right.
Here's the thing: you make a plan. You want to make God laugh, make a plan, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you have to be able to adjust and say, okay, this is what it was. This is what our game plan was a week ago. However, new information has come that changed that. We have to adjust our game plan.
Yeah.
Don't get stubborn and stick to a game plan, because you could potentially put people's lives at risk. Coming back too early could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And also waiting too long and coming back too late could potentially put the business at risk. So
Yeah.
it's really the ultimate battle between uh, business objectives and keeping people safe.
No, I think like what I want people to get is what you said right now doesn't just apply to corporate or just doesn't apply to HR. Adjusting the game plan. Like I think so many people are like they're so stuck in their ways, or they're so afraid of going outside of what their plan was, right? Because they were so comfortable in the plan. And then now that you're saying that you have to freestyle a little bit, you have to do something you're not comfortable with. Yeah, I think you hit it on the spot. And I remember you going on the podcast with Adam Posner, and I remember you saying your military background, man, and how you're approaching it like that. I, I I like that. Like what you're saying is that there is a structure, right? There is and then on top of it, there's a mindset that I think is so crucial in times like this, and especially from leadership. So, first, thank you for your service, and then two, walk us through a little bit of that. Like, what's the best part of that is coming out to you in corporate that makes one that like I think companies should think about hiring more veterans, and then
Oh
also
yeah.
just like how that comes through.
I mean, the first part is what I described earlier: being able to adjust and not being rattled by circumstances. Keeping your military bearing.
Yeah.
You know, uh, that's one thing that actually translates really well. And especially with senior leadership, I think in my career historically, senior leaders have taken a liking to me because
Hmm.
I don't let something, a bad piece of information, get me off the rails.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Keep your cool, maintain your bearing, and let's figure out a solution. I'm very solutions oriented.
Hmm.
Um, so that's one, the sense of integrity and responsibility and taking your job seriously, and making sure that you are always reachable. In the military, that isn't an option. You have to be on top of
Mm.
shit.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and that's instilled in you. And translating that, it's actually easier in corporate America, but it comes as a shock to a lot of people just how on top of shit most veterans are, because
Yeah.
that's how you train in the
Hmm.
military. Um, so those are both very huge advantages for companies looking to hire veterans. Man, I'm unfortunately there are not a lot of veterans in media.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I've only met a very small handful, and advertising as well. It's not really a option that most veterans see for themselves. You know,
Yeah.
they usually go into jobs that are either related to their MOS, their job in the army, or things like logistics and operations and stuff like that. And operations is part of my job, but
Hmm.
uh, even when I was a veteran, I didn't even know what HR really was. So
Yeah.
when I was serving, so um, yeah, man, I highly encourage more companies to hire veterans, and bring them in at an entry level, let them learn the ropes and let
Yeah.
them grow within your organization, and you'll definitely reap the benefits.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned earlier on in my career is that when I looking at resumes for a lot of entry level people, it's not like they learn media at all, right? In college, it's something that you're gonna have to teach anyway. So one of the things that I gravitate towards is if you even have a NCAA background, right? If you're a student athlete, because these dudes and gals like wake up so early in the morning, train, somehow go to school, and they have that mindset, and it's so like perfect for a teaching moment and being able to groom them, and then I know they're going to be on top of their shit. So I think that is like the easier thing, right? Like I think there was a big campaign that is saying like we hire people that are student athletes, but I think that what gets understated is the veterans part of it. I think I haven't had to come across many opportunities to even interview people that are veterans in media, like you said. Like it's not just high in demand, but I totally get that mindset and why that type of structure goes well. So the next thing that I want to jump into is kind of related to what happened in this unprecedented time and the summer internship, right? And
Yeah.
I know you, especially like on your social, I remember seeing it going like, man, like you were really wowed by the submission of everybody coming in, and like you wanted to do more. So just talk to the viewers what I'm talking about so they understand.
So that it really hurt my heart, man. Genuinely
Yeah,
hurt my heart
I
that
felt it.
we couldn't get the internship program off the ground this year because of this. Last year was the first year that Complex instituted a internship program that I designed that was strictly a learning environment. Most interns were kind of straddling the fence between, entry level work and learning, where this was designed to be a 10-week strictly learning, so that they can get maximum value out of it.
Love
And
it.
it was a huge success. They all collaborated on a zine that was due at the end of the project, and it was one of the best things that Complex has ever produced, professionally or via interns, I think.
Yeah.
And that got me really excited for this year. And then all of this happened as we were going through the selection process, and it was literally a week after we posted the posting and opened up intern applications that we had to shut it down. And the applications that I saw just blew my mind. Some of the
Yeah.
most talented young people. that you'll ever meet, which is why it's the most rewarding part of my job is being able to identify young talent, give them the tools and guidance to grow and watch them blossom and watch them grow into exceptional professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I went through a bunch of applications, me and my team,
Yeah.
um, and we decided to highlight a few just to give them some sort of shine and build a
Mm-hmm.
relationship with them, so that once things get back to some semblance of normal, we can possibly tap them for a new or delayed internship program
Yeah.
for possibly next year, um, or even try them out in as fellows,
Yeah.
or freelance gigs, something to build a relationship with them because they're just too talented to just let them go by the wayside. And got a decent response, and I spoke to every single one of them individually, the ones I
Mm-hmm.
highlighted, and it was just an incredible thing. And we're actually doing that. We're working with a couple of them
There you go.
now. So yeah, man, I'm just really disappointed that we just couldn't get it off the ground, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I think what I've always some people have asked me like, what's the best way to get started in advertising? And I said, get a damn internship. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
get that experience and learning, and I really hope that if for anybody looking for a job, especially in media or advertising, really really look at internships, and I promise you there's going to be things that you didn't even know existed, you're soaking in, and 3 years later you're going to be like, oh, you know what, I saw that happen, I know what to do now. So that's
you know
one
what?
thing.
When I first started my career, one of my early mentors was my first CFO,
Hmm.
Peter Dolan. Really nice, salt of the earth guy, and he told me something that resonated with me, throughout my entire career. And if you don't learn anything from this, learn this. If you're young and you're trying to break into the industry, fuck the money. Fuck the money.
Hmm.
It's about the experience. Whether you're working for free, for peanuts, get the experience.
Yes, sir.
Once you get the experience, you build your resume. Once you start building your resume, then the money will come.
Yeah.
But at the very beginning, you want to break in, whatever it takes to get that experience, it is way more valuable than whatever money you're going to be paid.
you,
So
I,
please,
yeah, man, like I don't think people understand like the experience and the building your resume. Your 20s, even if you're in 30s, man, like I think if you really want to do something, the learning that you can get and like elevate your career, like me taking the approach that I'm going to go in and learn has changed my career, right? Like me not chasing the bag and me not wanting to just get that title and me being able to get in a situation where I know I'm going to learn the best has gotten me to places, and I know it's going to get me to places later because it was an investment I made to myself. You're absolutely right, man. Fuck the
it's
money.
absolutely investment.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely investment, man. And the money will come. I'm not
Yes,
saying
sir.
money's not important. Money is important. Trust me. We all have to eat. We all have to live,
Yeah, man.
and we all want to live nice. But when you're first starting out, don't get greedy. Get the experience. Get the right experience. The
Yeah.
earlier you figure out what you want to do with your career, the sooner you can get the right experience that's going to put you on the trajectory for the career you want long term.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When I first graduated college, right, I had two job offers that I was debating, right, and then you know what? It wasn't like something that I knew I was gonna grow from. It was just job offers. That's what it was, right? So what I did then was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and I wanted to work at Austin, but nobody in Austin looked at my resume and be like, this kid is good enough for a job. So I still packed up all my shit, moved down there. I had to live out of my car for like 30 days, man, and showering at 24-hour fitness. But I was networking, I was hustling, making all these connections. And then I didn't really get a job until 6 months after I got to Austin. And I was working at Panera Bread just to like make rent, right? And then I finally got an unpaid internship, right? And I was stoked because I knew I was going to learn from it. And then a month later, um, some company startup gave me my first real job offer, right? And they're like, this is gonna be good. You're gonna have an opportunity to grow. And I took that, and that leveraged me into a better learning situation, another agency. But what I want to tell people is that your message right there, man, fuck the money. Get the
Mm-hmm.
experience and believe in yourself that you are going to grow. And I really, I really feel like people need to do that. And the money will come if you believe in yourself.
When so when I first got started in advertising, I was working as a doorman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and my doorman shift was from 3 to 11. I got offered a job by someone who owned an agency that lived in the building.
Yeah.
So what I did was I was like, listen, I can't quit my union job, but what I'll do for you is because my ex-wife was pregnant at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, what I'll do for you is I'll work in the mornings from 8 to 2.
Mm.
And then I would shoot uptown and do my doorman shift from 3 to 11.
Yeah.
Take a train, get back to Brooklyn at 12, and then do it all over again the next day.
Mm.
I did that for like 11 months.
Yeah.
And I was making peanuts. And I was going to school at the same time online. That hustle, you have to put that with, and if I didn't put that work in, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yes, sir.
You have to put that work in, because after that 11 months, I made myself so invaluable to him that he was like, let's talk. I need you here full time.
Yeah.
The rest is history. So don't worry about the money. It'll come. Put the work in, put the time in, hustle, and it'll pay off. I guarantee you.
No, I love it because
be patient.
Yeah, exactly.
Patience.
Like 11
Patience
months,
is,
right?
yeah. Patience is a virtue that is less and less common nowadays. A lot of people want it fast and the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't work that way sometimes, man. You got to put in the work. You got to be patient, and wait for that opportunity to come. And when it does come, you lock onto it like a fucking pit bull and don't let go.
No, for sure. Like, this is something I learned in earlier in my career. So when I started my social media newspaper, The Intrepid, actually the new editor-in-chief and future all editor-in-chiefs of that paper that's still going on at The Intrepid, I still talk to, and he's coming on the stream on Saturday. When I created it, right, like, I don't think people realize that I was a one-person dude still going to college and pumping out 4 news stories a day. But I knew that was the thing, right? I was taking fully edited 3-minute video segments and writing a story and interviewing people and putting quotes and putting this content out there because I had the vision, right? And I was put all in. And I was going against an actual institution to a degree of the student newspaper that had a staff of 30. And I was trying to pump out more content than them by myself, right? I wasn't getting paid. I was doing it for the hustle, and I knew it was the right thing, and I was learning. And at no point was I wanting to get a quick success of just like, oh, I got more views or stuff like that. That wasn't even like a big thing back then, but like I was looking at website traffic and stuff like that and trying to see where it's at. And, what I ended up learning from that was if you put the time in and if you really do the work, something good will happen, and you got to be ready for it, right? And I got my big moment when Mike Posner came to Bonaventure. Everybody tried to get an interview, and I was the only publication that could get an interview from him because I did something creative on social media, right? So you got to be patient and do it. But here's the other related thing, right? I'm not just like boosting and says something I'm good. The reason why I don't think I took the Intrepid to the next level, like I had the same business model of a HuffPo and all these other companies that kind of got big. I didn't have the business savvy, right? I didn't put in the time. I genuinely didn't put in the time for entrepreneurship or learnings that I need to do to be able to, how would I fundraise? Who did I need to talk to? How did put a business deck together, right? I didn't know any of that. So, to a degree, I felt like I could have taken that even further and left a bigger legacy for my school. But I know I didn't put the time in. So after that, I knew for the rest of my career, no matter what, I got to put the time in. And
Yeah.
and I'm patient, man. I know eventually all this is gonna get somewhere, but I'm patient. I'm gonna be on the grind, and I really appreciate you saying that, because I think this culture sometimes we're so wowed by what's on Instagram and somebody who's saying, man, those people are not overnight successes. They put in their time in. You're just seeing the end benefits. So
You're seeing the
yeah,
end result. Yeah, absolutely. Here's another piece of advice,
yeah,
and we're going to go back a little further. Um, Something somebody told me that resonated as well was any job, big or small,
mm-hmm.
do it well or don't do it at all.
Mm,
So before I became a doorman, I was working bank security. I was making about 8.25 an hour, and it was one of the most boring, meandering jobs I've ever had. Right, just
yeah,
sitting there. But I did that shit like, like a professional,
mm-hmm.
open doors for people, help with customers, and I was really good. One day I'm outside of the bank smoking a cigarette, and across the street, uh, it was a residential building.
Mm-hmm.
The super calls me across the street. I never met the man before, never seen him. And he was like, "Hey, what's your name?" Chatted me up a little bit. And then he was like, "I see how you are interacting with the customers there. You have great customer service skills. You're very well spoken. You handle even the angry customers well. How would you like a job as a doorman?" And I was like, "Fucking A, yeah, sure." Doormen were making $20 an hour, so
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, it was doubling up.
mm-hmm.
And that eventually led to me getting that shot at that agency. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if I had that job making 8.25 an hour and being pissed off that I was making 8.25 an hour,
Mm,
coming to work with a bad attitude, and that guy would have never called me across the street.
yeah,
I would have never got the doorman opportunity. And then I would have never gotten the opportunity to work at an agency, and I wouldn't be where I am today. It's
no, I
all
love it.
about your approach to your job as well. Doesn't matter if the odds are against you. You're not making enough money. Keep your whatever is frustrating you or angering you. Keep that to the side and maintain your professionalism and do the job to the best of your ability.
Yeah,
And it will pay off. You never know
yes,
who's
sir.
watching. You
Mm-hmm.
never know who's watching.
And everybody's watching, right? Like, I think what you're saying is super important, because it's not just like do your job well, right? It's the mindset. You have to have the mindset of
Your approach,
knowing
your entire approach.
exactly.
Because
So
there's brilliant jerks, right? Like there's people who can do their job amazingly well, but nobody wants to fucking work with them because they're
nobody.
at do your job, maintain your professionalism, and you know, just be pleasant about it. I'm not saying you have to be, an extrovert and be this kind of magnetic personality everybody wants to talk to, but be pleasant. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And if people like you and people want to work with you, it'll open up so many opportunities that if you're just combative all the time.
yeah. No, I listen, man. I didn't know we are gonna get this real on this, but like you brought in the heat, man. I think this conversation is so valuable, and yeah,
Thanks,
man,
man.
loved hearing everything. So let's change another gear. I mean, you watched The Last Dance, right? Like,
I
uh,
did. I
what
did.
what you think of the episode? Is Jordan just the coldest killer? Like, should we have a Jordan LeBron debate? What's going on in your head?
There is no debate. Here's the thing. Everybody is keen to the person they grew up watching and idolizing, right?
Yep.
Obviously, I grew up in the 90s. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
Jordan guy. And I respect LeBron. I really, really respect LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of these guys that LeBron's trash and Jordan was the greatest.
Yeah.
Jordan's the greatest. LeBron is probably number two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it is a certain type of killer mentality
Bro.
that separated Jordan from LeBron. And you
Yeah.
saw it, good, bad, and ugly. You saw it in that documentary.
Mm.
It's nothing that I didn't already know. I read a few Jordan books, and I listened to a lot of Bill Simmons, who
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
on and on about just how much some of the old Jordan stories that he had.
Hmm.
But you know, I do Jordan is the thing I appreciate and I take away and I try to incorporate in my professional life is getting the most out of yourself and your teammates. Now I don't curse out my people. I don't punch
Yeah.
you know my
Will
teammates.
Purdue and Steve Kerr, you'd be like, hey, don't set that pick again, and then whack.
Yeah, yeah. Where's that spreadsheet? Uh, I don't do that, but I try to get the most out of everybody and raise their level because I want to achieve greatness. I
Yeah.
want to be known as someone who left a mark in my field, and uh, and not just collect a paycheck. And that type of ambition is, Jordan had that in spades. I'm not comparing
Hmm.
myself to Jordan, but it's something that I aspire to.
Yeah.
Um,
No. That mentality, right? I think BJ Armstrong was the one that said it in the documentary. It was but it was like at one point Jordan didn't play the game to like play the game. He played to win. So everybody was playing the game and trying to be technical. His mindset was like, I'm winning this game. Like that was it. And everybody knew he was winning the damn game, right? Like I don't think people understand like being around, and I've been around one or two people that I can count on my head that is like when they imbue that energy. No matter what they said or they said they were gonna do, man, I felt it. I knew I was gonna go through that brick wall for them and achieve it. And I think that's what I think people. I hope people don't get that you can be a total dick to all your teammates and win championships is all right. But like, I think they need to take a step back and deconstruct that. Right? Jordan did it to win. Like he didn't play, he did it to win, and he had that mindset and everybody knew it. So there is something there. And yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I didn't know Jordan that deep in that context until I saw The Last Dance. But man, that dude has a mind of like he's the most zen person in the world, man. Like I don't know how he did it with all that and still dropped 60 on someone and like called it dropping 60 on someone. Like his
it,
stories are
oh,
incredible.
and it's something that I do as well, is compartmentalization, right? Like
Hmm.
all the other bullshit you're dealing with in your personal life, lock that in the box, and for those 2 3 hours, or in my case those 8 hours you're at work, or 10 hours you're at work, focus on the mission.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
something they teach in the military. Focus on the mission. The mission is your number one priority. You'll deal with everything else later.
Yeah.
Focus on the mission, man. And it's something I really like about the way he approaches the game and life in general, man. Yeah, I tweeted yesterday, last night. I took a shot at some Bron
Oh
fans.
yeah, I saw that LeBron jumping for the free throw.
Everybody's reviewing game tape,
Oh yeah,
so
man. I'm surprised I haven't seen like loops of like LeBron's like block in the Golden State game or just that 3-pointer he hit when he was in the Cavs against the Magic. Like,
I don't understand why it's absolutes, man. I don't understand
yeah,
why people can't appreciate both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. I truly appreciate LeBron.
yeah, man.
One of the greatest things I ever saw in person was when my first time I ever saw LeBron, when it was his first year with the Heat. They went to Jersey to play the Nets.
Hmm.
I brought my homie, and LeBron grabs a rebound at one end of the court. I turned to say something to him real quick,
Hmm.
and it was literally like this. And by the time I went like this, he was at the other end of the court. I was like,
Yeah,
"What the hell happened?"
yeah, yeah,
He's amazing,
yeah,
but he's not Mike. He's
yeah,
not, and
yeah.
you
No,
know, I think he should be his own thing.
yeah, no, for sure. And I think if we're gonna talk about Jordan or Mike, we got to talk about Kobe. So, man, like, where were you when you heard the news?
I was actually driving back from Atlantic City, me and my cousin.
Hmm.
Um, uh, we just lost a shitload of money in blackjack, and uh, coming back to New York,
Uh huh.
and I heard it on the radio, and like I had to pull over for a second, man. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, it was shocking, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, that's life, though, man. You never know, when something like that could happen, and that's why you have to enjoy life while you're living.
Yeah.
Um, because unexpected things like that happen, and next thing you
Hmm.
know, it's all over, man. So I always try to tell people, man, live your life, have fun, enjoy it, because you never know, man. Um,
Yes, sir.
but it is incredibly sad, man, and I really do feel bad, for his wife and family, and the
Mm.
fact that he had his little girl on the
Yeah,
plane with
man.
him.
Oh,
Man, it kind of fucked me up, man.
yeah.
Just even thinking about that. So
Yeah, man. I
yeah.
also found out after I heard that the other families, right? One of them, the Altabellis, I got to cover them when I was a student journalist, right? And I actually
Oh, wow.
interviewed his wife and his daughter as well. And I literally went back and read that piece, and like, man, like all the emotions too, right? So, you know, eh, yeah, man. Like I it's a sad way to end the stream, but I also think it's a good way to end the stream, which is you never know. Live your life to the fullest. And I super appreciate all the stories that you were saying because, man, like, what I appreciate about you is you served in the military. You were finding things out, but you always kept that attitude. You were humble. You always worked hard, nose to the grind, and you did it, man. Like, you know,
Man,
if
thank
this is
you.
Endgame, I'm so proud of you, bro, and I'm even
Thank
more of
you.
an honor to know you. So, yeah, man, keep doing your thing and appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. I always fuck with you, Shaq. I love your energy. I love your attitude, man. And you're a hustler, and I see it in you, man. So happy to be one of the, first guests on this, man. And just keep doing your thing. I'm gonna be watching and rooting for you, man. And if you ever need anything, you just let me know, dog.
Hey, appreciate it. And thank you for hopping on the stream. Everybody, all you got to do is comment to be able to win a $20 gift card. And you know what? If I get 15 shares or more of this, I will drop $100 and buy something from the complex store, whatever you want. And I will do that for the stream. So,
Tell you what,
Jay,
whoever wins, I'll throw in
what's
some complex swag. How about that?
woo, that's what's up. I hope everybody heard that. So, Jay, appreciate you. And we'll talk soon. All right.
You got it, brother. Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace.